So we had UFC 289 wrap up last night, and we had some good action. We had unexpected thing, a huge shock, with the retirement of Amanda Nunes. And we just going to get into that and talk about it. So we're going to start with the main event. Well, first off, as far as the fight goes, I thought Irene was a little flat. I think she kind of got away from the things that got her to where she was. Her footwork wasn't exactly all the way there. She kept her hands up very, very high, which I feel kind of stifled her movement and punches, so she wasn't as fluent as she normally is and flow with the action. So I think that was a thing that played against her. I think Amanda was dominant. I think early, coming out, using those low kicks, hitting her with the low kicks early on was a big key in the pocket. Landing big long shots to the body. I think that was a good thing that helped soften Irene out. As far as it goes, it's a huge stage. That's a big moment. It can get overwhelming. It can be a lot for some. You don't know exactly what she was feeling in that moment. Afterwards, Amanda decided that was it for her. A lot of people are like, like Juliana's still here. Julia, you seen the banter from Juliana on the thing, which is understand that's a fight that you want. It's a big fight. You lost that one and you kind of want it back. But to me, in my mind, Amanda's given a lot. She's been at the top for a long time. She's made a legacy that's going to be hard to chase and even harder to top. Coming from nothing, from the lower end of the social class and financially and things like that, and to now achieve the success that she has. Congratulations to you, and you should definitely enjoy that. And the co-main event was quick, but it was all action while it happened. You had Charles do Bronx versus Beneil Dariush, which was a good one. I think the thing right out the gate that Charles did that worked in his favor was getting that kick up there and landing it flush on the guard of Beneil, because I think that actually kind of hurt him to begin with. They got into an exchange, Charles was aggressive. He was coming at him. He was he was pushing the pace. Beneil kind of sits in sitting in how he normally does, slowly figures you out before he starts to build that momentum. And Charles didn't allow him to do that. When they got to the ground, as Beneil did, was able to kind of control and land like some pop shots and things like that. And when Charles was able to cause the scramble and get back to his feet, he was able to put that kick back up there, which really did some damage. And then he was able to put some punches on him. He actually was able to drop him, and from there, finish him. He was good. He had good flow on the ground. He was setting up to make sure that all of his punches counted. And you just kind of got the sense that it was going to be. And then you seen Beneil kind of react and go limp, and that was it. And yeah, it was an impressive performance. Charles looked phenomenal. His Do Bronx is always must-see TV, win or lose. For Beneil, I think the layoff, the time in between, taking long times off, I think that's something that can actually play a factor and that can actually wear on you. I think the thing for Beneil should probably try to look to get right back in there and stay active. For Charles next, I'm assuming the thing that makes sense to me would be the rematch with Islam. I believe Charles is growing. He's constantly growing. I think he's shown us from how his career started to how he's taken it and how where he's at now, that he can make adjustments. He can grow and he can be better. So a rematch with him and Islam does have some intrigue to it. So we're gonna see how that goes. Which, as Islam said, there's levels to it. We see the level that Islam is on, but it's up to Charles to go up and match that level. Not even gonna lie, the fight before that, I didn't even really get a chance to catch. I was actually at a watch party, but I actually had other obligations, so I wasn't actually able to catch that one. But I know it ended in submission. I think it was like a rear naked choke. So congratulations, shout out to you. The Dan Ige and Nate Landwehr fight was all action. Nate comes out. He's a banger. He comes out for action. He's a straight up warrior. Same as Dan. Dan is sharp. He's a very high level skilled fighter. And they went at it. They definitely went at it. At the end of round 1, Dan landed a big shot on Nate and was able to drop him, and you could tell that actually hurt Nate, and he was able to later on in the fight land some more big shots and actually able to land another shot to actually put him down. I think they were in there. I think Dan was just a little bit quicker, just a little bit sharper. Nate kind of held his hands kind of at like a wide guard, a little bit more like kind of square like this, which I think for against a smaller, faster guy puts you at a disadvantage, because even if you are able to time it and be quick enough and get that initial block in, if they follow up with a combination on that going around the guard and things like that, it kind of makes you susceptible to things like that. So I think that kind of played a thing. And then not only that, Dan Ige understands things. He understands angles. He understands movement. He understands where he's at and things like that. And he's one of the best guys in the world. So shout out to him. Shout out to Nate. You guys put on an amazing fight, and can't wait to see both of y'all back in there. The open of the main card, which actually ended up being a fight of the night. Yo, your boy Eric Anders versus Mark Andre. Oh, I got it. Oh, yeah, I've heard his name before. All right, McAndre. So that was an absolute barn burner. Fight of the night. These guys, the same things that fundamentally that have gotten in the way and cost Eric Anders some fight are the same things that make him fun to watch. He comes forward. He just he's a brawler. He wants to get in the fire. He wants to get in the pocket. He wants to throw shots. He's going to take your shots. He wants to see if you're going to take his shots. Fortunately for guys like McAndre, he was kind of leaning back. He kind of was able a little bit more slicker on the back foot and evading, and paid a little bit more focus to hitting and getting out of the way. And that ultimately played out in him getting the decision. The featured prelim bout, my boy Chris, man. That was a tough one. It was a good fight. The guys were going back and forth. They were trading. They were getting in the pocket. They were getting in the fire, and they were throwing back and forth. But an unfortunate injury caused by a headbutt caused the doctors to stop it. You can see the frustration on Chris and the emotion pouring out of him, seeing as how he wanted to keep fighting. You're in that moment. You're already locked into that mode. You want to kill or be killed. So I get that. Hopefully the UFC rebooks that one and we can get that one back on, because that looked like that was going to be a fun one, and it looked like something one that they both will be good with running it. So yeah, I think y'all should run that back. All in all, it was a fairly decent card. Again, congratulations to Amanda Nunes on a phenomenal career. Hats off to you, Irani. Keep working, come back strong. Improvement. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate the shirt. I actually got the shirt. Just keep working. Just keep doing your thing. The divisions are now wide open. I was actually just talking to my guy, just wondering what are they probably going to do now with the 145 division. Maybe they scrap it. Maybe now a bunch of 145 women get enthusiastic now and they want to come in and they want to bang now. So I don't know. We're going to see. We'll see what happens with that. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. I'm always a fan, and I'm tapped in. We all tapped in together. Let's go.